The orbital bar grill hung suspended in the inky blackness, between the planets in the outer rim, a beacon of neon light and jazz riffs in the vast, silent void. It was an improbable place, perched in the darkness, where only the brave or the desperate dared to tread. The establishment's clientele was as eclectic as the universe itself: mercenaries, bounty hunters, rogue AI, diplomats in disguise, and wayward explorers nursing secrets and regrets alike. The owner, a grizzled ex-commander named Joel, was a human, a rarity in this sector. But then again, so was Joel. His reputation had preceded him across solar systems. Legends of the bar's wild tales, unlikely alliances, and occasional brawls were whispered in dive bars and shuttle stations on every habitable rock within 3 light years. On any given night, the bar was alive with laughter and music. Beings from 100 different worlds gathered here to drink, boast, and forge alliances, sometimes with species that barely shared the same biochemistry. Joel kept the drinks flowing and the chaos managed barely. He'd always said that his place ran to rules: no weapons fired indoors, and any brawls pay double their tab. Tonight, a strange quiet settled in as Joel polished glasses behind the bar, waiting. He felt the anticipation hanging thick in the air. Word had it a legend was coming to visit tonight. Sure enough, the door slid open, and in strolled Kira Vasquez. Infamous for her fleet tactics during the Wars of Redemption, she'd earned the moniker Galactic Ghost after evading enemy scanners countless times, slipping through blockades like a shadow through the dark. She wore a smirk, a scar across her brow, and her starship jacket hung loose, emblazoned with the insignia of old battles. The murmurs grew into excited whispers, and Joel watched with a smile as Kira sauntered to the bar, her eyes glinting in the neon haze. "Ja," she greeted, voice low but carrying authority. "Kira," he nodded, setting her drink of choice on the counter without a word. "Been a while. Had to lay low. Old enemies, you know." She winked, clinking her glass against his as she sipped. "Who's new here?" "Depends on what kind of company you're looking for," Joel said with a grin, gesturing around. Kira's gaze swept across the room, lingering on a towering, crystalline being seated in a dim corner, watching the bar with curious, sapphire-colored eyes. Beside it, a grizzled Skoleth warrior, all muscles, scales, and scars, sat there nursing a drink, its gaze wary, and seated closest to her was a group of young humans and a Zythal, a spider-like being with a penchant for high-stakes card games and stories about narrow escapes. Just then, the door slid open again, and a trio of Zathari bounty hunters strode in, eyes immediately narrowing on Kira. They didn't need an introduction. Every soul in the bar could sense the sudden tension as they recognized the notorious Vasquez. "Mind if we have a chat, Captain?" the tallest Zathari drawled, sliding a clawed hand onto the hilt of a plasma pistol. Kira smirked, setting down her drink. "Depends on what's on your mind, friend." Joel leaned in, quietly mouthing, "Rule number 1, with a wry look." The Zathari scoffed but took his hand off his weapon, muttering to his companions. A human merchant at the bar turned, chuckling nervously. "Is it true you once outran the Ashran Federation fleet with just an old freighter?" Kira winked, but the Zathari leader interrupted. "Outrun, please. Vasquez here isn't as sharp as they say." He sneered. "Only reason she's breathing now is because she's lucky." The crowd tensed, bracing for Kira's reaction. Instead of retaliating, she broke into laughter, catching everyone off guard. "Luck," she raised her glass, gesturing to the room. "We're all here because of luck, bad, good, or something in between. What I did, Zathari, wasn't luck, it was strategy." The Skoleth warrior let out a rumbling laugh, clearly impressed by her nerve. "Tell me more, human," it rumbled, leaning forward, intrigued. As Kira began recounting her tale, the patrons leaned in, enraptured. She spoke of how she had once maneuvered a decoy fleet, led a jump into a supernova's gravity well, and outsmarted enemies by hiding in the irradiated wreckage of a derelict station. Her voice grew louder, her eyes brighter with every word. The Zathari, now frustrated and humiliated, muttered something under his breath. Joel's sharp ears caught it, an insult against humanity itself. There was a tense pause before Joel stepped in, his voice cutting through the atmosphere like a blade. "I don't care where you come from or who you hate," he growled. "Everyone in here, human or not, has earned their place. he eyed the Zathari. "You're welcome to leave anytime." Silenced and defeated, the Zathari stormed out, muttering about drunken humans and spineless aliens. Kira and the rest of the bar burst into laughter. The Scarlet warrior roared in approval, slapping the table with enough force to make glasses rattle. "Tonight, we toast to Vasquez and her courage," it bellowed. A cheer rose from the crowd, and drinks were hoisted, splashing neon-hued liquid under the dim lights. Even the crystalline being in the corner raised a shimmering appendage in silent salute. Joel watched the revelry unfold, a smile tugging at his lips. Another legend added to the bar grill's legacy. This was more than a bar, it was a crucible, where old grudges were fought, alliances were born, and legends were both forged and remembered. And as the night wore on, with stories echoing across the room and laughter spilling into the void, Joel knew one thing for certain: there'd be more nights like this. As the revelry settled into a comfortable hum, Joel noticed a newcomer at the door. This figure was cloaked and hooded, making it impossible to see their face or tell if they were friend or foe. The stranger paused at the threshold, as if assessing the room before stepping in. The bar went quiet again, all eyes on the figure. Joel raised an eyebrow. The regulars knew better than to cause trouble, but newcomers always had a way of bringing a storm with them. The cloaked figure approached the bar, moving with a strange, almost gliding grace. Joel was just about to say something when Kira leaned over, her gaze locked on the figure. "You lost, stranger?" she asked, a spark of curiosity in her tone. The figure chuckled, low and resonant, and pulled back the hood to reveal an alien, far delicate, almost ethereal, with silver skin that seemed to shimmer under the dim light. It was a Syraxian, a species so rare that most had only heard of them in myths. The Syraxian's eyes gleamed like liquid mercury, shifting in color as they scanned the room. Joel's instincts kicked in. Syraxians didn't just wander into places like this without purpose. They were known to be reclusive, almost mystical, and were rumored to possess technology centuries beyond most other species. The Syraxian spoke, its voice smooth and melodic, carrying an eerie calm. "I seek an alliance, one that only the fearless and unconventional can fulfill." Kira grinned, eyes gleaming with the excitement of a challenge. "You've come to the right place, then, but alliances here come at a price." She gestured to the crowd. "If you want our help, you'll have to earn it." The Syraxian nodded. "Very well, I'm prepared." With a graceful motion, it reached into its cloak and produced a small, intricate Devasia metal orb with intricate etchings that pulsed with a faint, green glow. Joel leaned forward, recognizing the craftsmanship as beyond anything the bar had seen. "What's that?" he asked, his voice low. "This," the Syraxian replied, "is the heart of Rokana. It is a map to an ancient vault, one that holds the keys to restoring the lost Syraxian Empire. I need pilots, navigators, warriors, and tacticians." It looked pointedly at Kira. The murmurs around the room turned into excited chatter. Everyone knew the legends of the Syraxian vaults, hidden across the galaxy and rumored to be filled with unimaginable wealth, advanced technology, and perhaps secrets powerful enough to alter the balance of the universe. Joel glanced around. The bar was full of ambitious souls, exactly the type the Syraxian seemed to be seeking. Kira folded her arms, a smirk playing on her lips. "And what do we get out of this, other than a one-way trip to some ancient, probably booby-trapped vault?" The Syraxian's metallic eyes gleamed. "Those who assist me will have the first choice of what the vault holds: treasures, weapons, and knowledge beyond any of your current technology. And, of course," it paused, letting the promise hang, "you would be written into Syraxian history as the ones who resurrected an empire." The crowd buzzed with excitement and whispers. The bar's usual atmosphere of drink and laughter shifted into one of eager speculation and anticipation. One by one, patrons stepped forward to pledge their assistance. The crystalline alien, whose people had a deep bond with ancient technology, the Scarlet warrior, who yearned for the thrill of a grand quest, and Kira, of course, who wouldn't miss an opportunity like this. If her life depended on it, which it probably would. Joel watched, arms folded, as the group assembled around the Syraxian. It was a ragtag team, to be sure, but that was how legends were born. This venture, he realized, would be yet another chapter in the Orbital Bar Grill's history. Who knew what secrets they'd unearth or what dangers lay ahead? The Syraxian looked at Joel with a respectful nod. "And you, keeper of this place, Will you join us? Jill chuckled. Oh, I've made enough enemies on my own. But you can bet I'll keep this place open for when you return. He poured a round for the gathered team to the brave, the foolhardy, and the legendary. The team raised their glasses, clinking them with a collective cheer as the crowd joined in, the excitement sparking the room back to life. They were about to embark on a journey few would dare to attempt, but that was the beauty of the Orbital Bar Grill. It drew in legends, and it sent them out on quests that only the bold would even consider. As the crew prepared to set out, Jill watched them go, knowing this would be the kind of story that would echo through the cosmos for ages. The bar would wait, as it always did, ready to welcome them back if they made it, and if not, well, there'd be new stories, new legends, and new adventurers waiting to take their place. In the Orbital Bar Grill, where legends gathered and chaos ignited, the universe would always have another story to tell. The Orbital Bar Grill had quieted down, the hum of conversations replaced by the gentle clink of glasses, and the soft murmur of anticipation. Jill wiped down a bar with an almost meditative focus, keeping one eye on the stars beyond the window. It had been 3 weeks since Kira, an unlikely crew of mercenaries, outlaws, and explorers left with the Syraxian. 3 weeks, and not a word. Jill had seen crews venture into the unknown before, and many didn't return, but this one, they had something different. He felt it. The way they had looked at each other, the unspoken agreement that they'd face whatever awaited them together. He was hopeful they'd return, but he'd been in the void long enough to know not to get too attached to hope. Then, out of the silence, a blip appeared on the bar's navigation panel. Jill's gaze sharpened, and he leaned over to get a closer look. The readings were faint, but he recognized the signal. They were back. He could hardly contain his excitement as he keyed in a command, opening a channel to the docking bay. Orbital Bar Grill calling Kira Vasquez. Report in. A crackle of static filled the bar's comm system before Kira's voice came through, laced with exhaustion and pride. Jill, you're gonna want to pour something strong. We've got stories, and, well, we brought souvenirs. Jill's face split into a grin. I'll have the good stuff ready, he replied, switching off the comm with a chuckle. Turning to the bar's regulars, he raised his voice. Looks like our crew's back from the vault. A cheer erupted in the bar. Patrons hurried to snag seats, eager to be among the first to hear what the team had found. Jill arranged the drinks, setting out crystal tumblers and glasses for everyone, a rare treat saved for the best stories and the most daring returns. Minutes later, the door slid open, and in walked Kira, flanked by her companions, each bearing the wear and tear of a journey hard fought. The crystalline bean's surface had a slight crack running down one side. Glinting in the bar's lights, the Scarlet warrior limped slightly, his armor scorched, yet his pride intact, and behind them, the Syraxian drifted in, its silvery skin somehow even more luminous, as if infused with a strange, otherworldly energy. The crowd parted, making way for the adventurers, and Jill poured out the first drink for Kira, who downed it in a single swig. So, Jill leaned forward, his eyes twinkling. What happened? Kira let out a long, tired sigh, looking over her comrades with a sense of satisfaction. We found the vault, she said, her voice carrying an almost reverent awe, and let me tell you, it wasn't what any of us expected. The crowd leaned in, eager to catch every word. The heart of Rockar now led us through a series of traps, ancient defenses that nearly ripped us apart, she continued, her eyes distant as she recalled the experience. There were security drones and energy fields that fried our systems on approach. The whole place was booby-trapped, but the Syraxian, here she gestured to their silver-skinned guide, guided us through, step by step. The Syraxian nodded, eyes glimmering with something that might have been pride. The vault was a relic of our people, meant to protect our knowledge and preserve our future. It was a place of learning, of secrets we couldn't afford to lose. The crystalline alien chimed in, voice a gentle hum. Inside, we discovered artifacts, ancient texts, and something more. A memory stone, infused with knowledge of the Syraxian past. Jill leaned closer, unable to hide his fascination. And what did it say? What was in those memories? The Syraxian held up a small, pulsing stone, its surface engraved with alien symbols that shifted and danced in the light. It revealed our history and a warning, the Syraxian said. Our ancestors once wielded a power that nearly destroyed our people. They had created weapons of incredible strength, capable of manipulating the very fabric of space. A murmur ran through the crowd. Such technology, while tempting, was known to be dangerous beyond comprehension. The vault had a map, Kira added, her voice serious. It showed locations across the galaxy where other caches might be hidden, each one with pieces of technology and pieces of the mystery our Siraxian friend here is trying to solve. Joel's eyes widened. You're saying there's more out there? Kira nodded. A whole network of vaults, each one holding different fragments of their civilization. If we find them all, well, it's hard to say what kind of knowledge we'd gain, or what risks we'd uncover. The Scarlet warrior rumbled in agreement. And not just knowledge, we're talking about artifacts. That would be invaluable on the black market, but it's clear now they were left hidden for a reason. The Siraxian met Joel's gaze, an intensity in its silver eyes. Our journey is far from over. I came seeking allies, not just for one vault, but for the others. The galaxy itself may depend on it. If we do not uncover these artifacts ourselves, others will, and their intentions may be less honorable. Joel poured another round, setting the glass down in front of Kira and her team. Looks like the Orbital bar grill just became ground zero for a new quest, he said with a grin. As long as you're willing to come back and tell the stories, my doors are always open. Kira raised her glass, nodding to the crowd, to the next vault, then, and to the legends we're about to become. The crowd roared with approval, and glasses clinked together in a symphony of celebration. The bar was alive again, filled with hope, ambition, and the thrill of the unknown. As the night wore on and the patrons of the Orbital bar grill toasted to new legends, Joel couldn't help but feel a tingle of anticipation. He had a feeling this crew's journey was just beginning, and that the stories to come would be like nothing the galaxy had ever heard before. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info.